All right, so I am back, and today we are going to take a look at a Dinobot from Beast Wars. And so this was made by somebody utilizing a 3D printer. Now, I can't remember his details. I'm terrible at stuff like that, and my phone's not working very well. So I'm going to put all the links in the description below on where you can pick this up. Now, that's not me selling this figure to you. That's just me helping you guys know where to find it, because it's not like, like a Classics Prime where I could say go check out eBay, Big Bad Toy Store, TF Source. This is just one guy's making these things. It's a fan built bot, so there's only one way to get them, really. So that's what I'm going to put in the link below. So this is a 3D printed figure. I've never messed with 3D printed figures before. And it's not mine, so I'm not trying to be overly forceful. I can't seem to get this to lock back up into place. That might be my bad there, I'm pretty sure, actually. Because it seemed to be pretty solid when I got it out of the box, and I transformed it once, and now it doesn't seem to want to go back, so I think I probably flipped something wrong. And there's no instructions, so yeah. And that's why I'm also starting with beast mode and just going to go to robot mode. I'm not going to do the robot to beast and back to robot, because it's not mine and I don't want to break it. Although the plastic, I will say, does feel a lot better than I anticipated 3D printed plastic feeling. It feels pretty good. I do. It's got a little bit of roughness to it, which he's a reptile, so I would imagine him being a little rough. And you can kind of see in certain angles, like just the where the printing would have printed out. So yeah, you can see those lines. So if somebody had the time and care, I'm sure they could sand this down and make it really smooth and really, really awesome. But I don't have the time, and it's not my figure, so I'm not going to do that to somebody else's toy. But yeah, it looks good. It's got a good weight to it. I do like it. Posability here. We've got the head is on a swivel up here, so good range of motion there. The mouth opens and closes, so that's what you need. The neck does hinge a little bit. It's a little bit hindered, but that's okay, because I've never seen raptors move their head all that much. Shoulders for the animal arm is on a ball joint, and there's also a hinge in there, so you kind of get an in and out, around. There's a little bit of a wiggle in there, and then the hands do open and close. So that's pretty cool. The back legs rotate back and forward. There's a hinge going out. There is a bicep swivel, or I guess this would be a thigh swivel here. Elbow bend, or knee bend. Swivel at the ankle, and then the toes pivot along with the back toes. Nothing really at the tail, though. It's just one solid piece, so... Well, it's not one solid piece, but it's just, that's how it clips together. So yeah, there you go. Now, he does come with this extra sword. This is a bigger straight sword, but I guess from what I heard, the guy forgot to make the tab. So that's kind of stupid. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sugarcoating anything. I appreciate the friend of mine. He bought two of them and he sent one to me to review. I appreciate that. But I'm gonna call. I still calls him like I sees him. You forget the tab, so you can't hold those weapon. That's stupid. I'm not faulting it for this, because I know it locked in better earlier, and I can't get it back right, and without instructions, I'm probably just doing something wrong. But yeah, the big sword, no tab. That's ridiculous. All right, let's do a quick size comparison here. We'll do a whole bunch when we get in robot mode. But here he is with Beast Wars Rhinox. This is the Generations Rhinox, so it's a Voyager class. And honestly, This, to me, is in scale. This is scale to me, because Dinobot was always bigger than Rhinox. Maybe not quite that much bigger, but you know, I kind of got him at a more upward pose. There we go. But that, I think that seems just about right. Yeah, because Dinobot was always taller than Rhinox too in bot mode, so it seemed right. It seems right to me. All right, let's go into transformation. So the first thing you want to do is pull the tail off. So there's a tab that's in here that's plugging in this way, and then 2 tabs that are plugging in down. So you kind of want to pull it out and up at the same time. So yeah, so there's that tab there that plugs in there, and then these 2 tabs here and here that plug in there and there. So it's kind of one of those. I would have thought of maybe making more tabs this way, so that it just plugs straight in, rather than trying to wedge it. I think, you know, with 3D printed plastic, I'm not entirely sure on the stability of it, so I wouldn't have made a friction joint like that, where it's going in 2 different directions at once. That's my opinion. That's one of the things my friend said to say is just anything I could say that would improve the figure. All right, so you can open this up, and so this is his little whirly-majig weapon, and then here is a smaller. It's curved to fit the inside of the tail, which is actually more like the original Beast Wars figure, because his was kind of straight but kind of curved but smaller. So you can see the difference here. You know, this one's longer, straight, but without the handle, it's pointless. Not gonna lie. And then you got this, you know, the tail weapon thing, which we'll come back to that in a minute. All right, so what you want to do here is let's just move these arms out of the way. They're really tight when they're down, but when you move them up, they do get a little loose. So obviously you're going to want to paint this thing. You're not going to want to leave it in the white. So you know, the paint will probably tighten that up a little bit. And quite frankly, you know, to the guy that's making these, I would recommend printing out a assembly sheet, you know, full on assembly sheet, and send these in pieces so that, you know, I'd be able to paint this without trying to knock a pin out. I hate knocking pins out. I haven't tried it with this because it's not mine, but I'll try it real quick, just briefly. I'll just use a paper clip here. If I can't get it with a paper clip, then it's too tight in there. Oh, and it looks like it's going to pull right out. Okay, so that's good. At least there's that. All right. So yeah, it looks like you can just pop those through. So at least there's that, but at the same time, like I said, you know, maybe just leave it unassembled. All right, now you want to pull the legs apart here, and they will fold down like so. And then you take this waist assembly, and this will rotate around like this. And this folds up like this, and then you want to pull this piece here, so it's kind of going into the waist. It's on a double hinge right in there. So it goes in like this, and then you pull the head down, and you want to pull these panels out like so. Now the robot head's not attached, so if it falls off, it's just because it's not attached. And it didn't. Yay! All right. So you want to pull this down, and what you want to do is this plate needs to go inside his mouth. Like so. And then you can move this down. And then the shoulders come up. And then you can pull these plates back like that. And we're pretty much done here. Rotate the arm. Rotate the hand. Like so. Rotate the arm around. Rotate the hand. He apparently doesn't attach the heads so that you can have more access to it, but let's take a look at the I would call it a face sculpt, but I guess face printing. I don't know. Anyway, you want to take the dino legs here, rotate them in like so, rotate around the thigh, fold out the foot, rotate the dino leg in like so. Rotate the camera up a little bit. Let's plug the head back on. And there we have Dinobot in robot mode. And he looks really good when he's looking straight at you. I have issues with some other things, though. Again, any looseness and tightness, those are all things that, when it comes to working on stuff like this, we're going to have to deal with because there's no way around it. To be able to get those pins out, some parts have to be loose. So you can see this foot here is loose. So if I was going to keep this, which I'm still kind of trying to decide on, you'd take all this apart and then you'd paint over things and then you'd put it all back together. So that would, tighten or loosen the joints. And then I would also recommend putting like a clear coat of nail polish on it to keep the paint from chipping. You can take the sword here, and it does plug into his hand. There is a slot in here. There goes the head again. Alright, just like so. You can open this hand, and as you can see, because there's no sideways plug, you can try and have him hold the sword, but it's super loose. You can also open up the hand and take this piece here, and there's a tab right back there that you can plug into his hand like this. Now it doesn't do the spinning thing like it does in the show or the original toy, but that's fine by me. Alright, so first thing, let's talk about posability, I guess. So the head, when it's attached, it's on looks like a ball joint. This little square is on a ball joint. And then the head you glue that on once you're done with it, and yeah, it's pretty good range of motion there. Shoulders, let me get this piece out of the way here. Shoulders are on the double hinges, up and down, in and out, bicep swivel, elbow bend, obviously no ratchets here, wrist swivel, the fingers articulate, one pin at the knuckle here, and then the thumb pivots there. Nothing at the waist. Hips go up about that far. They go back only about that far because of this back piece here. In and out here. Thigh swivel. He's got a bend at the knee and double bend at the knee. All right. If this arm wasn't here, inside here, you get a little bit more posability there. Foot is on a ball joint, and it hinges here and here. All right, so there is it's a decently posable figure, and it's a good size figure. Now, price from what I hear, it's $50 for the figure, and then $20 for shipping. And I think when you order it, dude prints it out, puts it together, and ships it out to you. And the whole process takes like 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. Which, to make a figure from scratch, even if it is 3D printing, custom ordered, and have it delivered to your door within 3 to 4 weeks, that's pretty impressive for $70 total. That, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty awesome. I have some issues with the figure. He's not perfect. My primary issue here is his head sits so far in front of the shoulders. It really should sit, either a little bit more like here. Right about here would be perfect, actually. I'm okay with having the big chest piece with Dinobot, but this makes him kind of look like he's got a hump. I don't like that. I really do not like that. Or if there... Yeah, see, even if you were to move the shoulders up, I'm trying to think of a way to fix this. You'd have to redesign the whole thing, but if you were to put this on a plate inside the head, and then pull the head out, and then have the plate flip up, like it was here, and then instead of it just rotating, it would flip up like this. Then we're talking about something that I would say is a very well proportioned figure. Having the head sit here instead of flipping back, it's really kind of it's just making him look goofy, and I don't like that. This wouldn't fly for third-party figures. I'm not trying to insult the maker of this, but that kind of design, people would have been all up in arms with. Now, because it's a fan-built bot with a 3D printer, I have a little bit more forgiving than that. I am just trying to say, if there is a way to take this plate, instead of rotating it, having it flip onto the back, that's going to improve the overall look of the figure. Because, like I said, this here just looks so much better than this here. But anyway, it's a pretty well designed figure. The transformation's pretty good. There's a few parts that are pretty clever, actually, and then there's some parts that are pretty plain. There's not so much you can do with Dinobot here. On the back here, it cleans up fairly well, but there's a lot of flat spaces, so it looks all right. This head, the placement of the head, is what I really have a problem with. That's my big issue right there. All right, let's do some scale comparisons and final thoughts. His feet are a little loose. Again, that's something that you can fix when you paint it, but his feet are a little loose, and that's giving him a little hard time standing. And then I'm gonna use Rhinox here, whose legs are super loose, and this is an official toy, so this is one of those that's like, yeah, you can't win them all. Alright, so in this scale, I think he's a little too big, because Rhinox should come up to about right here, but at the same time, it's not that bad. It's not something I'm going to sit there and say, oh, this is garbage because he's too big. Let's see here. Here he is with the Generations Waspinator. And again, I think he's a little too big for him there. Now, here he is, though, getting these guys out of the way, with the Generations Rattrap. And that is perfect scale. because the Rattrap's too big to begin with. But this is perfect. So, you know, if I were to get this figure myself, and paint him up, make him look super nice, if that head was fixed, that's the one thing I have to say. The head needs to get fixed. If I were to buy this figure, paint it up real nice, I'm putting it on a display shelf with just these two. Maybe the Ultra Class Optimus Primal is going to be about right here, because that guy's way too big. I don't have him anymore, but this Rattrap and Dinobot, that's perfect. That is perfect. All right, let's do some other scale comparisons just so you guys can know what we're talking about. Here he's with the Legends figure and a Seeker. And Prime. So you see, he's, what is that? Ultra class, I'd say. Not quite leader class. Let me grab a leader class figure so you can see. Here he is with the leader Megatron. So you can see, yeah, he's not quite leader class, a little closer to Ultra. But yeah, so he's a good sized figure for, $50 plus shipping. Got the issue with the head. Like originally I was going to say, find a way to slide the joints, the shoulders forward. But yeah, just flipping that head back would probably be the easiest way and best way to fix this. Here he is with an MP car. And this has no reference whatsoever because these guys were tiny compared to G1 figures. Or G1 characters. And there he is with Prime. So you can see he's about a head shorter than an MP10. But yeah, the Beast Wars were probably more along the lines of Power Glide scale. So this is how big they should be in comparison to Prime. Or at least that's how big Primal was compared to Prime. Because yeah, he was about, that's about right. So yeah, he's way too big for MP scale. But like I said, I mean, if you get him, I'd put him up with that Generations Rattrap again, and because that's just about perfect scale. I mean, it doesn't get better than this right here for these guys. If you find a Cheetor because I think Cheetor is just a little bit bigger. I don't know where mine is at the moment. I'm not gonna go look for it. Anyway, So anyway, it's a good figure. It's a great attempt. It's not perfect. Like I said, there's that link below. I do recommend checking it out. I'm not saying buy it. I'm hoping the guy can correct that head. I don't know if he'll listen to me or not, but I was told to make suggestions on if there's anything I would fix, and that's what I would fix right there. That head is disproportionate to the body. It looks goofy. It needs to be fixed. Outside of that, making sure your tabs are on your swords is always good. But outside of that, I mean, it's a good figure. I would be giving this. I'd be giving this a 9 out of 10 if it wasn't for the head, to be honest. For the price point and being a fan-built bot, that's what I have to, keep reminding you guys. This is not some mass-produced company figure. This is one guy printing this up, putting it together. So for that, I would give it a 9. But because the head, I'm sorry, this is kind of unforgivable to be so far forward with the shoulder so far back, and if he just puts that head back, that's my biggest issue, my number one biggest issue with this figure. And because of that, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I am very pleasantly surprised with the material here. And I will probably be picking up some more stuff from Shapeways with some 3D printed stuff. Because this is pretty interesting stuff. I'm going to definitely see what else they have. And if this guy ever fixes that head, man, I'm buying it. I will buy it in a heartbeat and paint this thing up. And I'll do a painting tutorial. But, yeah, I think I'm going to... Because my friend said I could buy it from him if I liked it. But I think I'm going to have to send it back. Sorry, dude. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. The fan-built 3D printed Beast Wars Dinobot.